Hey folks, you're OS Reviews. You're watching our video review of the EC Technology Backlit Portable Keyboard. This one uses Bluetooth to wirelessly connect to any Android, iOS, Windows phone, and it does so with a 10-meter range. It sells on Amazon for $18, which is very inexpensive for a keyboard that offers a backlight. You can choose between 7 different colors with the keyboard turned on, and also adjust the brightness of the backlight as well, making it ideal for typing in darker environments or also for gaming. It also offers a pretty good battery life as well. That is rated up to 500 days on standby, 200 hours before you need to recharge it again, and has a 800 milliamp hour capacity. And recharging it takes only 2 hours using a standard micro USB port. The actual keyboard itself weighs in at 0.37 pounds, which is also very lightweight and very sleek. The one thing though that was a little bit interesting that I thought is actually accurate is on the back. It says that the working time for the battery, for the lithium ion battery on here, lifetime is only 3 years, which I think is a little bit odd, because typically, if you have a lithium ion battery in your phone, it's going to last longer than 3 years. It might last 5-6 years. So that's something that I thought maybe that's the reason why the price point was so low. But otherwise, the product itself works flawlessly. It's easy to connect to any other device, and the keys are surprisingly well spaced and decent for a portable keyboard. It's not full size, but it does a nice job. Presentation-wise, we have a pretty clean look on the inside. We have access just to the keyboard itself, the aforementioned micro USB cable for charging the keyboard itself. There's also a quick instruction card that tells you how to set things up and goes through the various functions. So here is the aforementioned micro USB cable and just the keyboard itself, as well as the instruction manual. So as you can see here, the actual Bluetooth keyboard is incredibly small and sleek. It's made out of plastic, so it doesn't have the best construction quality in the world, but at only $18, we're not complaining too much. Again, it offers a very sleek portfolio, so it's extremely easy to tuck with you when you're traveling or on the go. It's kind of interesting though, there are 2 bumps on the left and right hand sides I'm not a huge fan of. It kind of gets in the way if you're typing with your palms rested on it. But otherwise, again, a pretty clean presentation across the board. There are no arms in the back, so you can't, unfortunately, prop this up at an elevated angle. That's one of the only limitations in terms of the hardware. On the top, you have access to the EC Technology logo embedded, and on the other side, you have access to a Connect key that you can tap on for a few seconds longer to start pairing it with another Bluetooth source. The power on-off switch can also be located on the sides there, and now we have LEDs along here for caps lock, for Bluetooth, for charging, as well as for power. As you can see there, we now have the blue backlight turned on by default, and this is an island-style tactile keyboard that's also chiclet. It's a little bit reminiscent of some HP laptops, so each of the keys are pretty well spaced as well as responsive to the click. And for a small portable keyboard, again, we were impressed by how they managed to fit the layout on here. Overall, we got a pretty decent typing speed on here. I didn't feel like it was too cramped at all, so that's great, and it works nicely with most tablets. I now have the keyboard connected to an Oppo Find 7, and it was pretty fast and easy to pair. It's going to prompt you for a passcode the first time you set things up. You're going to type that on the keyboard and then press enter, and afterwards the connection will be secured. If the phone goes to sleep, you can still wake it back up using the keyboard. So for example, the phone's display is off. I can tap on the space key there and it's going to wake back on as long as you're within the 10-meter range. Otherwise, it's pretty easy to get customized to this layout. It's not too cramped either, which I like, and everything that you type on is pretty instantaneous as far as what happens on screen. I can then go back. The back key here is a little bit small. That's one of the only limitations I found in this layout. Everything else was reasonably sized, and I found it comfortable and easy to use, especially the spacebar here, which is quite large and responsive. The top row is also dedicated to some unique controls, which correspond to changing the brightness, as well as for media controls like skip track, play, pause, and those work nicely as well for Android, iOS, and Windows phones. And overall, it's pretty simple and easy to use. Doing a quick typing test, if I want to type "this is a test," you can see the accuracy is also pretty high, and it does a decent job, again, between reaction speed of something you type on and what happens on screen. Going through some of the colors next, you can see that it's pretty bright as far as the backlight goes. You can definitely see it under a dim light in addition to when the lights are completely off. I can also tap on the brightness key for a few seconds to adjust the brightness up to 2 knots, which is the brightest. I can then tap on the bright key and then shift up to change the different color of the lights. So that this goes to a green color, this one goes to a purple one, a darker blue, green, that was kind of a turquoise blue, and goes back to red, and then back to this first color. So that cycles between different colors. You can also change and have the backlight on or off, and that works pretty nicely. So overall, at the end of the day, I definitely would say the Easy Technology mini Bluetooth keyboard with backlight is a terrific deal for only $18. Because it doesn't have a case integrated with it, you can use it with virtually any device, iOS, Android, smartphone, or tablet. The layout of the keyboard is impressive, and the backlight feature is a plus at this price point. There are a few limitations in terms of the design. I don't really like the bumps on the sides. I think that gets in the way a little bit. I would have also liked to see a kickstand in the back just to elevate the angle a bit for typing, but overall, at this price point, I think it's a steal. To learn more information about this keyboard and its performance, be sure to read our full written review. This has been our video. Thanks for watching Cure OS.